Do you know who the most notorious outlaws of the Wild West were? These figures have become legends, their names echoing through history as symbols of lawlessness and rebellion. From bank robbers to gunslingers, their daring exploits have fascinated us for generations. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 most wanted Wild West outlaws of all time. Stay tuned to see if your favorite outlaw made the list and discover some surprising facts about these infamous figures. The allure of the Wild West has captured the imagination of many due to its lawless nature and legendary figures. This era, spanning roughly from the late 1800s to the early 1900s, is often romanticized as a time of rugged individualism, frontier justice, and untamed landscapes. The Wild West was a place where the rule of law was often overshadowed by the barrel of a gun, and outlaws roamed freely, becoming folk heroes in their own right. Stories of daring bank robberies, high-stakes showdowns, and infamous outlaws like Billy the Kid and Jesse James have been passed down through generations, creating a mythos that continues to intrigue us today. The combination of real historical events and embellished tales has solidified the Wild West as a symbol of adventure, rebellion, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. Dealing with outlaws in the Wild West era presented significant challenges for law enforcement. The vast and rugged landscapes provided perfect hideouts for criminals, making it difficult for sheriffs and marshals to track and capture them. The limited communication infrastructure meant that news of crimes and wanted individuals spread slowly, allowing outlaws to move freely and evade capture. Additionally, the small and often underfunded law enforcement agencies struggled to maintain order in rapidly growing towns, where outlaws could blend in with the transient population. These outlaws had a profound impact on society. Their daring heists and violent confrontations not only terrorized towns, but also disrupted local economies and instilled a sense of fear and lawlessness. However, they also became larger-than-life figures, romanticized in folklore and popular culture. The exploits of these outlaws were often sensationalized in newspapers and dime novels, creating a complex legacy that still fascinates us today. The constant cat-and-mouse game between lawmen and outlaws helped shape the identity of the American West, emphasizing themes of justice, retribution, and survival in a lawless frontier. The Wild West was a breeding ground for notorious outlaws whose daring exploits have become the stuff of legend. From train heists to deadly shootouts, these figures defied the law and carved their names into history. Now let's delve into the thrilling tales and notorious deeds of the 10 most wanted outlaws of the Wild West. Get ready to uncover the stories of these infamous characters and learn why they remain such compelling figures in the annals of American folklore. 10. Black Bart. Charles Earl Bowles, alias Black Bart, was infamous for his poetic notes and numerous stagecoach robberies, all carried out without violence. His most famous crime occurred on November 3, 1883, near Copperopolis, California, where he robbed a Wells Fargo stagecoach and left behind a note that read, "I've labored long and hard for bread, for honor, and for riches, but on my corns too long you've tread, you fine-haired sons of bitches." Law enforcement, particularly Wells Fargo detectives, relentlessly pursued Black Bart. James B. Hume, Wells Fargo's chief detective, and Special Agent Harry Morse were key figures in the hunt. Their diligent work led to Bart's capture in 1883, when they found crucial evidence at the scene of his last robbery. 9. Sam Bass. Sam Bass was known for his train robberies, with his most famous crime being the Great Train Robbery of 1877 at Big Springs, Nebraska. During this heist, Bass and his gang stole $60,000 in newly minted gold coins from a Union Pacific train, making it one of the largest robberies of its time. Bass became a primary target for law enforcement, particularly the Texas Rangers, who intensified their efforts to capture him. His luck ran out on his 27th birthday, July 19, 1878, when he was mortally wounded in a gunfight with Texas Rangers in Round Rock, Texas. 8. Belle Starr. Belle Starr, known as the Bandit Queen, was infamous for her involvement in horse theft and her associations with other outlaws like Jesse James and the Younger Brothers. Her most notorious crime was orchestrating and leading a gang of rustlers and horse thieves in Indian Territory, present-day Oklahoma. Law enforcement found it challenging to apprehend Starr due to her connections and the remote areas she operated in. She was eventually captured and tried by Judge Isaac Parker, known as the Hanging Judge. But her charisma and ability to evade long-term imprisonment kept her legend alive. 7. Kid Curry. Harvey Logan, known as Kid Curry, was a member of Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch and was infamous for his violent temperament and numerous killings. His most notorious crime was the 1901 train robbery near Wagner, Montana, where he and his gang stole $60,000 from a Great Northern train. The Pinkerton National Detective Agency relentlessly pursued Curry, making him one of their top targets. Despite several close encounters, Curry's evasion tactics kept him ahead of the law until his eventual death in a shootout with law enforcement in Parachute, Colorado, in 1904. 6. Wild Bill Hickok, James Butler. Hickok, better known as Wild Bill Hickok, was a renowned gunslinger and lawman. Although his reputation was more as a law enforcer, his most famous crime-related incident was the Wild Bill Hickok Davis Tutt shootout in Springfield, Missouri in 1865, which is considered one of the first classic Western showdowns. Hickok served as lawman in various towns, including Abilene, Kansas, where he dealt with numerous outlaws and gunmen. His life ended in 1876 when he was shot in the back of the head by Jack McCall while playing poker in Deadwood, South Dakota. 5. John Wesley Hardin. John Wesley Hardin was one of the most feared gunfighters of the Old West, claiming to have killed 42 men. His most notorious crime was the killing of Deputy Sheriff Charles Webb in 1874, which led to a massive manhunt. Law enforcement, led by Texas Rangers and local sheriffs, pursued Hardin across several states. He was finally captured in 1877 by Texas Ranger John B. Armstrong and served 16 years in prison before being released and subsequently killed in 1895 by John Selman Sr. in El Paso, Texas. 4. The Sundance Kid. Harry Alonzo Longabaugh, known as the Sundance Kid, was a key member of the Wild Bunch and participated in numerous bank and train robberies. His most famous crime was the 1899 Wilcox train robbery in Wyoming, where he and the gang made off with a large sum of money and valuables. The Pinkerton National Detective Agency targeted Sundance Kid and Butch Cassidy, following their trail across the United States and eventually to South America. Their exact fate remains a mystery, but their exploits left a lasting legacy. 3. Butch Cassidy. Robert Leroy Parker, known as Butch Cassidy, led the Wild Bunch gang and was involved in numerous train and bank robberies. His most famous heist was the 1896 Montpelier bank robbery in Idaho, where he and his gang stole $7,000. Cassidy was relentlessly pursued by the Pinkerton National Detective Agency and law enforcement across the United States. He eventually fled to South America with the Sundance Kid, where their fate became the stuff of legend. 2. Billy the Kid. Henry McCarty, alias Billy the Kid, was a notorious gunslinger involved in the Lincoln County War. His most famous crime was the killing of Sheriff William J. Brady in 1878, which cemented his status as a wanted outlaw. Lawman Pat Garrett led the manhunt for Billy the Kid, culminating in his capture in 1880. After a daring escape from jail, Billy was finally tracked down and killed by Garrett in Fort Sumner, New Mexico, in 1881. 1. Jesse James. The name that stands at the pinnacle of Wild West infamy is none other than Jesse James. Known for his leadership of the James Younger Gang, Jesse James was the quintessential outlaw whose audacious crimes and relentless pursuit by law enforcement have cemented his place in history. His most famous crime, the 1876 Northfield, Minnesota bank robbery, ended in a bloody shootout, exemplifying the violent and dangerous life he led. Despite being pursued by the Pinkerton National Detective Agency and local sheriffs, James managed to evade capture for years. His life came to a dramatic end when he was betrayed and shot by Robert Ford, a member of his own gang, in 1882. Jesse James's legacy as the most wanted outlaw of the Wild West is a testament to his enduring legend and the chaos he wrought across the American frontier. The Wild West era was shaped by the daring exploits and notorious crimes of its most wanted outlaws. These figures, from poetic stagecoach robbers to deadly gunslingers, challenged the fragile order of the frontier and left an indelible mark on American history. Their stories of rebellion, violence, and audacity have become legendary, capturing our imaginations and symbolizing the chaotic spirit of the Wild West. As we conclude our countdown, it's clear that these outlaws played a pivotal role in defining the mythos of the American frontier. Their legacies continue to intrigue and captivate, reminding us of a time when the line between law and lawlessness was blurred, and the pursuit of freedom often came at a high price. We hope you enjoyed our countdown of the top 10 most wanted outlaws of the Wild West. Which outlaw's story fascinated you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you have suggestions for future videos or topics you'd like to see covered, we'd love to hear them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more thrilling tales from history.